We hope we're not going to have to see Good morning, all, and welcome to the State Gov Committee's Wednesday's April 17th meeting. With that, we will turn our attention to our clerk. And Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll, please?
Representatives Alexander, Bricken, Butler, Carringer, Chisholm, Dixie, Haston, Holsclaw, Hurt, Jernigan, Johnson, Leatherwood, Littleton, McCalman, Miller, Pearson, Powell, Powers, Rudder, Terry, Vice Chairman Eldridge, Chairman Kiesling.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Appreciate that. Now members, we only have one today, but before we get to the calendar, the chair is going to take just a moment to, rather than wait till the end of this meeting, I want to immediately go into some birthday wishes. What we want to do is recognize our members, Holsclaw, Hurt, Eldridge, Bricken, Leatherwood, Dixie, Littleton, Powers, Johnson, Butler, Terry, Alexander, Rudder, and Jernigan. Now, why are these people named so special? Those are the people we will not be able to celebrate their birthdays between now and the end of the year. So we're not going to ask everyone to join in and sing happy birthday to you, but we do want to, and a special birthday to, actually, this was my statement was initiated because of Speaker Johnson, who brought to my attention, I think it was meeting 2. Chairman, what are you going to do for us? That we, how are we going to celebrate our birthdays? How are we going to celebrate our? So anyway, happy birthday, all. We appreciate. Yes, thank you. I want to go down the list with thanks and appreciation for this year. Chairman Eldridge, look at me. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I love you and I appreciate you. You've been my back, catching my back all the way through this, and I really appreciate you so much. Subcommittee chairs, John Holsclaw, Iva Schroeder, Chris Hurt, thank you all. Where's Chris? Is he here? I don't see him, but anyway, let's get the word to Chris for my thanks and appreciation. Staff, how could we operate without? Yes, exactly. Thank you. Special recognition goes out to Emily Johnson, Nathan Witt, our research analyst, Emily being, of course, our executive assistant, attorney Matt Mundy, our clerks Jalen Phillips and John Cloverhouse, intern Lacey Hunter. Where is Lacey? Maryville College. Lacey, thank you for being with us this year. You have been a wonderful addition to this committee, and we appreciate you and wish you much, much success. Sergeant of Arms, Ruben normally would be our Sergeant of Arms. He sat with us throughout most of this year. But anyway, we'll get the word. But we appreciate all of our Sergeant of Arms, and we wish you all the best, of course. Now, let me quickly then go into this day in history. It was 1947 when Jackie Robinson, he bunts for his first major league hit. 64, it was what was the most famous car, you all about my age out there in the your 60s and 70s. What was the number one car in 1964, you think? You're correct. It was the Ford Mustang, and it debuted at the World's Fair in New York. Can anyone tell me who the designing engineer of the Ford Mustang was, who later became president of Ford Motor Company? Anyone? Oh, come on. It was Lee Iacocca. Lee Iacocca. He really gained national recognition in 1956 at Ford when he did this 56 for 56 campaign that was offering loans on 1956. Now listen to this: 1956 year models with a 20% down and a monthly payment of $56 for 3 years. $56 for 3 years. 1970, let's move on to space. Apollo 13, Lovell and Hayes, I don't know how to pronounce this guy, HAISC and Swaggart, they all splashed down safely into the Pacific after 4 days following a ruptured oxygen tank, which crippled their spacecraft while en route to the moon. And their mission eventually led on to become a #1 movie in 1995, Apollo 13. It was, yes, 1970, it was Paul McCartney. He released his first solo album called McCartney, and the #1 song in 1964, Chair Lady, can you tell us what the #1 song in 1964, Karen, Chair Lady Karen? Well, that's a good one, and that's true. That was a good one. No, it says it can't buy me love by the Beatles. Yeah, sure was. All right. So any further announcements? Or yes, Representative Pearson, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Chairman. And also today, Mifflin Wistar Gibbs was born on this day and was elected as America's first African-American judge in Arkansas in 1873. And so history, again, made every day, and we live with the ramifications of it, both positive and otherwise. So thank you, Chairman.
All right. Further announcements, personal orders? None? Okay. Let's move into the calendar then. We will begin with item #1 and the only one, and it's House Bill 1960. We got a motion and a second. Chairman Jernigan, all eyes on you. You're recognized, sir.
Great, thank you. And I want to just do a special thank you for opening back up this committee when it got double referred on the same day you closed. So it was. But I'm grateful for that, and good to see everybody because
You're very welcome, sir.
Last one. I do have an amendment on this.
Yes, we do. We need okay, we got a motion.
We don't have to.
Oh, we don't have
No
to.
amendment?
No, he says we don't have to. It's traveling with it, right?
Oh,
Okay.
it's traveling with it.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay, you may proceed, sir.
I'll withdraw that statement. Then I'll just go ahead right into it. This bill is amended. Only applies to Nashville General Hospital, which I will say is in Leader Love's district. He's very kind to let me stay on here as a sponsor. And it's also, the bill is completely permissive. What it'll do is allow Nashville General Hospital to negotiate insurance providers on any incentives or price deductions that they would like to include for state employees. State employees will save on the deductibles and copays, making the delivery of health care more affordable. However, the incentives do not include health savings accounts or high deductible accounts. With that, Chairman, I'm happy to.
Oh, sure. Okay, that is an explanation of the bill. Yes, we do. Yes, Chairman Bricken, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And the problem with having only one bill on the calendar, you scrutinize it more than when you have a full calendar. Great bill, but I do have some curiosity questions.
Curiosity. You always do.
Why,
You may proceed, Chair Bricken.
why couldn't Meharry do this without legislation? I mean, it seems like any business can offer whatever incentives they want to attract customers. And so my first question is generally is, I mean, why couldn't they do this without legislation?
Chairman Jernigan.
That's a good question. If I could go out of session and ask the legal why.
Yes, if there's no
why-
objection, we will go out of session and we will defer to legal. Mr. Matt Mundy.
Thank you, Matt Mundy, for the record. Honestly, Representative Bricken, I do not know the answer to that question.
All right.
Okay, good job, Matt.
The second one is kind of a,
To legal now?
no, it's.
Okay, well,
It's just a broader question.
all right. Well, if I may, I need to offer anyone else to
Oh,
the
fine.
legal. We're out of session. Anyone else, any other questions to legal at this time? I see none, if no objections. We will go back into session. Back to you, Chairman Bricken.
Well, it was, and I share this with the people that came by my office too. If we offer this in Nashville for state employees, I just have some concern of, I'm gonna call it future repercussions of state employees around the state saying, well, our state employees in Nashville have this benefit. Somehow can we get it? And it's fine if hospitals have their own latitude of doing this around the state or whatever. But like I said, that's just a concern. I don't know if it'll ever surface or not, but things like that. always overthink,
I-
so.
Okay, is that rhetorical or is that a
That's,
question to
That's
the,
it.
to the sponsor? No,
That's-
sir?
If he likes to respond, be
Okay,
great.
Chairman, Chairman Jernigan, what response there?
You point out you make a good point. I would say that we did this when I was in the Metro Council, that we did this for Metro employees. And it was incredibly successful. And I've got the numbers here, but I don't think I need to go through them, but unless you want to hear them. And I think that it was so successful to offer this benefit to keep if we're trying to get benefits for not only Metro employees, but for state employees to come work for us, this is going to help them keep their healthcare costs down. But it's permissive, and if they want to do it, that's fine. But I really wish I knew the answer of why we have to do it, state legislation. But I don't know the answer to that part. But I do know it's been incredibly successful for Metro, and I think it'd be a good program for state employees.
Just a moment. Chairman Bricken, you're still up?
Yeah, thank you.
Further
That's
follow
fine.
up?
Just, is, Metro General Hospital totally or city-owned hospital, and are their boards fully appointed by city council or mayor?
Chairman Jernigan.
It is a county hospital. I don't know how the board's made up.
Who appoints them?
It's appointed by, I'd say the council and the mayor. Is that right? Leader Love, I know the answer to that, but
We can, would you want to defer to?
Go out of session, listen to.
Yeah, we can't. Let's do that. If there's no objection, let's go out of session. And we're at this time, our Representative Harold Love, who is a matter of fact, this is in your district, isn't it, Representative Love? So we're out of session. Would you like to address that?
Thank you, Chairman. And the
Question.
hospital authority, which includes more than just Metro General, is in my district, and it is appointed in that manner. There's a distinction I want to make, though. You mentioned Meharry. This is Metro General.
Okay.
They rent the building from Meharry Medical College.
Just why don't move?
You know how,
I want to defer to, if I may, Mr. Mundy, would you like to, I want to defer to Mr. Mundy, our legal. He has something he would like to add at this time.
Thank you, Matt Mundy. I was just going to respond to your original question. Now I think about it, I'm speculating a little bit, but I bet the issue is a contractual issue where the hospital authorities contracted with the insurers, and so they may be required to accept those out-of-pocket costs. And so that's necessitates the legislation.
okay.
Further questions to Representative Love while we've got him lassoed here at the pulpit? No? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Representative.
Thank you, Chairman, committee members.
Representative Alexander, did you have a question? You were recognized.
Well, I was just curious if there is a reason that we amended it to only be the Metropolitan Hospital. Metro.
We need to get back in session. You're not, this is not too
Oh,
legal.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
No.
you can ask Leader
I'm
Love.
sorry.
that.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
Why- You- Can we?
All right, benefits and administration.
We're going to ask that you're our testimony
Yes,
today.
sir.
So you know the routine,
Yes, sir.
Representative. Why don't you give us your name and your
All right. Harold Moses Love Jr., State Representative, District 58, Nashville, Tennessee. Born at Hubbard Hospital.
That's
which
enough.
is-
That's enough. That's okay.
Dr. Nicholas was my.
That we
deliverer.
don't need your social security
All right.
number or anything like
But
that.
it's my understanding that
Credit card would be nice.
and by the way, Chairman, this is where I go, right?
Oh,
This is the only
okay.
hospital I go to
Right.
in the city, and this is a public hospital, which is one of our safety net hospitals also, and so they provide a great care for many persons, and it's easier to track if it's just one hospital rather than statewide to see how effective this may be. I'm sorry.
Yes, Representative, while you've got him, any questions to
No.
Representative Love?
Okay, so you're
Representative
saying
Alexander?
for tracking purposes?
Yes.
So is this a pilot program?
Representative Love.
It's not stated as one, but it could be viewed that way. There's a great benefit. We talk about your question also. Why just one and not statewide?
Right.
If you want to have a program come out that benefits state employees, one that also shores up our safety net hospitals that oftentimes don't get their reimbursements right? They don't get the requisite number of persons coming to have services there. As a result, they wait on reimbursement. This is a great way to have a program that incentivizes state employees to get their care there and then let the hospitals again track how many persons come through there and what the cost will be.
Mhm.
Representative Alexander, follow up?
Thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you. You're very welcome. Okay. Yes, Representative Butler, to
So is this,
Representative Love,
is
correct?
this being, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
okay,
Chairman,
sure,
thank
go.
you. Is this being done as a pilot program to see how this is going to work at Metro General and then maybe?
Re-
But
Representative Love.
so are we looking at doing this in other hospitals in the future if this works well?
I believe if it works well, it could be expanded. To Representative Jernigan's point, Metro government did this at the Metro level for city employees. There's only one public hospital though, so it did not expand beyond Metro General.
Right.
And it was such a great idea at the county level that the thought was, well, what if we had it at the state level for state employees? Because they couldn't do it for state employees. But now if this bill passes, can. I can't speak to the cost or the effort to expand it, but I do know that we have a number of safety net hospitals and public hospitals. I know we have Erlanger, we have Region 1, but we also have other county level public hospitals across the state.
Thank you.
Representative Butler, follow up. That's it. He says that's it. Any further questions to Representative Love or Mr. Monday? None. I don't see any. Okay. Without objection, we will go back into session. Thank you, Representative Love. All right. Further questions to any closing remarks? Whoops. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Chairman Leatherwood, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I'm understanding this correctly, aren't we legislating a competitive advantage to one healthcare provider over another? And why would we do that? Right now, it's a level playing field. We hadn't put our thumb on the scale to tip it towards one healthcare provider or the other. And state employees and other patients can just decide where they want to go. This will have some cost. It says they can't figure it because we don't know how many employees, using the word out there, how many state employees we are going to incentivize to use one provider over the other. And I just frankly don't think we need to be doing that, as well as the other concerns. We don't know why we need legislation, but I don't know. I don't know that we need to put our thumb on the scale and tip it in one way or the other.
Representative Jernigan, would you like to address or
I'm
respond?
beginning to regret taking this bill over from Powell. I've got, it's been a few years, but at one point, there were more, my district was second in the amount of state employees that lived in a district. And I think I understand your point. I think if you were to open this up statewide, then you may have that. I know during the process that other hospitals and insurance companies, I think, may have been concerned if it wasn't just Metro General, but this would be good for Metro General. They signed off on it, and they did not have any issues about being a competitive advantage. That may be an issue later if we expand, but they were not concerned with being just one hospital.
Okay, follow up, Chairman Leatherwood, I'm sorry. No, he says no. Representative Butler, you're recognized.
So my colleague behind me said it gives a competitive advantage, but this is permissive, correct? So the hospital would have to agree to participate in this program, right?
Chairman Jernigan,
That is correct.
he says
So-
that is correct. Yes,
so-
Representative Butler.
I'm not necessarily being able to agree with my colleague because I'm not seeing, if they don't participate, it's benefiting the state employees. So all they're doing is not having to pay their copay. Is that correct?
Chairman Jernigan.
They're copay or deductible, yeah. And not the high-end deductibles, which I said are exempt, but it's, yes, it's save on deductibles and copays.
Representative Butler.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the hospital is waiving the copay, which they would have got as a cash intake. They would have been paid 25 or 50, whatever that copay is. So they're waiving that. So they're actually not receiving that cash benefit of the copay when that patient comes into that hospital, right?
Chairman Jernigan.
That is correct. They're going to probably go for volume, I'd imagine, but yeah, they're taking that hit. And this is a county hospital. It's not this is not a Vanderbilt or a Centennial. This would actually help them out a lot.
Representative Butler, follow up.
Thank you.
He says no. Any further questions to the sponsor? We good. Thank you. We've got a question on the bill. I see no objections. We are ready to vote. Let's vote. Those in favor of House Bill 1960 as amended. I think we have to say that. Though, please say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. And this passes on to calendar and rules. Yes, okay, Chairman Jernigan, closing remark.
I just wanted to say, this was my last bill and my last
Oh,
committee,
yes.
my last committee, and over the years, the past 12 years, I've served on state government. And state government, if in the future, if you ever put that on your list, make it one or two, because all the cool stuff comes through state government. And we handle a lot of volume, but the little quirky bills, it comes through state government. I've always loved it, and I'm glad that I'm going out in this committee. Chairman, I've had many chairmen from Ryan Haynes when I first started as my chairman. I know all the way through to you, and you have done an exemplary job, and I'm glad I'm going out under
Thank
your
you so
leadership.
much. I appreciate it. Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Yes. Okay. Chair lady, Carringer, you're recognized.
And I will say, if my memory serves me right, I believe that you were out running a bill when we had our last full state, and our wonderful vice chair, Rick Eldridge, was leading us. So we didn't really get to personally say thank you for the great job that you always do in leading all of us. And sometimes we all can, I'm sure, get a little bit under your skin, but you never show it. You're always cheerful, and you're always a pleasure to be with. And I certainly
You're very
have
kind. Thank you.
appreciated serving under you.
God bless you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Chairman Eldridge, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And the last meeting that we had, we did get to hammer it out, but I made the comment that I have had the honor of serving as the vice chair of state government since I've been here. And working with you and you as my mentor has been great. This is probably one of the best committees that I think anybody can be on. And it's got a great makeup of people. We represent a lot of different backgrounds.
Amen.
And I think that's what makes us great here. So I appreciate you, Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Chair Lady Rudder, you're recognized.
Well, I am so glad. I agree that I'm glad we had this committee so that we could get back together and we could give you a proper send off for this year.
Oh,
And what a delight it has been for me to serve as a sub chair with you. I agree with my colleague. This is a great committee. Little did I know when I was asked to serve as the sub-chair of public service, what I was getting into. I really didn't know much about this committee, but I agree. It's delightful. You're delightful. It's a fun committee. There's a lot of smiles in here, and I'm blessed to be here, and we're
Well,
blessed to have
gosh.
you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Speaker Johnson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to echo what my colleagues have said. And when I first got elected in 2004, it was the state and local committee, which I was fortunate to be a member of that committee. And the Honorable Larry Miller was the chairman of that committee in 2004.
There you go. All right. Okay, hear a motion to adjourn, Anita. All right, we got a motion, got a second, and we are, wait a minute. It says what? Wait just a second. A closing statement. This committee is closed, subject to the call of the chair. We're adjourned.